Today I fucked up by hooking my girlfriend up with a job at a company I work for. Happened years ago, but I was told to post this here. My girlfriend, at the time, and I were dating for just shy of 6 years. We were high school sweethearts and still in school. She had always struggled with jobs and keeping them, and since we lived together, I usually had to pick up the slack. I was working as an assistant manager at a video game retail store at the time, probably not hard to figure out which one. It was honestly an easy job as long as you gave little effort. Pre-orders here, couple warranty cells there. As my girlfriend loved video games more than I did, I had the brilliant idea to get her a job. She's an attractive girl while 80% of our customers were neckbeards who hardly get to interact with women. Should be easy for her to make sales. There's no way she can fuck this up, I said, confidently to myself. There is a policy as of most companies that people in relationships can't work at the same location. No problem. We have 12 stores in our district that are within a 5-mile radius. They seriously put these stores on every other block. I do a little digging and hook her up at a neighboring store that had a vacant position. She would also be working with the head store manager of the district, indirectly one of my bosses. Few weeks in, and it's going great. What took me about a year to get moved up she does in weeks. I'm not a self-conscious person, so I didn't care. Plus she could help pick up her half of the bills. Here's where I started to realize TIFU. Girlfriend comes driving in with a brand new car. Considering we were living paycheck to paycheck, I was pretty upset. I asked her where she got the car from and she told me I've been saving up. Bullshit, but okay. I loved her. So as long as she's happy, I'm happy. Next comes in with write-ups. I started getting write-ups and customer complaints left and right. I'm a very good employee and I very rarely make anyone upset. I couldn't even find where these customers were coming from. Even though my performance was the best out of most employees, I was starting to fear for my job. As to be predicted, I ended up getting fired. I tried to fight it, but I live in Texas, and the rules are that companies can fire anyone at any time for any reason. I'm absolutely crushed. I turned to my girlfriend for emotional support to find her extremely distant. She dumped me days later. Double whammy. I loved her for 6 years. She told me she felt this way for a while. Things are the same. I'm absolutely heartbroken. I'm angry, depressed, jobless. Felt like my life got flipped upside down. 1 week later her Facebook status put her in a relationship with her boss. My boss. Not sure when it happened, but he bought her a car, and then got me fired. Turns out all the customer complaints about me originated from that store somehow. Total BS. I set her up to absolutely FCK me over and to bone my boss. TL, doctor, I got my girlfriend a job only for her to FCK my boss and to get me fired. I'm still a little sad about it, but it is what it is. Edit. Perhaps the biggest FU is the fact I didn't sue. I was such an emotional wreck from everything it didn't even cross my mind. But I'm doing pretty well for myself now, and whatever money I'd get wouldn't be worth bringing her to court for. Just the thought of seeing her sends chills down my spine. Update, a couple of you guys were wondering, but they dated a few months and broke it off. Neither of them work for the company anymore. A little detail I forgot to mention, that when she came to take her stuff from our place, he was helping carry the stuff to her car. That was probably the most gut-wrenching moment for me. Both of them are Boz. Second update, I really appreciate all the positive feedback. I've been mostly over it, but the love really helps. Some of you guys are asking where she is now. She's doing alright. She's engaged to one of my old high school friends, also slightly suspicious. Still driving that same car, too, from the looks of it. I'm doing pretty well for myself. And if Terry's any happy ending to this, is that I'm genuinely happier than I've ever been in my life. Third and probable final update, again, I really appreciate the positive messages. Reliving and retelling the story made me angry and I missed a few details. I can't prove that he bought her a car, but I was pretty aware of her finances, and she couldn't afford a new car without significant help. It wasn't a fancy car, it was a new Prius that was worth about $18,000, in addition to trading in her old car. And the rumor around the block was that he did in fact help her. I was not a perfect boyfriend, I got upset at silly things, I could have been more attentive, but I never raised my voice, and I was very loyal. The course of when she got promoted to when she got the car was roughly 3 or 4 months. The separation and firing happened about 2 months after that. I didn't clarify that detail. The boss was a DM in training, recently got promoted, and the kind of guy that would spend money to impress a girl. If you lawyer up to sue for unfair dismissal, they'll settle and you'll get a payout. The boss will get a serious black eye. I may or may not have been able to sue, but honestly I found another job days later, and I was an emotional wreck. I think going through court probably would have driven me into a deeper pit than I already was. Hindsight is 2020, I dodged a bullet and I'm thankful for it. She sounds crazy, better it happened now than later. When you are married and she tries to take half your stuff. Fuck, now I'm sad. For those asking why sad, I appreciate that Top is doing better now and I'm happy for him, truly. I wrote the original comment prior to edits detailing his happiness and moving on. Not only that though, going through something similar to his story, I'm sure the moment of impact was awful and the suffering was intense at the time. Still, I'm glad things have gotten better. You dodged a bullet. That fucking bitch was gonna leave you once she found the rich guy. Just be glad she did before you married her. Her life is going to be terrible, miserable and full of absurd drama. You're lucky to be out of it. Rich, that guy was probably making 70k and that car wasn't fresh off the lot. Damn, like she couldn't just leave you? For what reason did that guy have to get you fired first? I can't imagine how you were feeling after that. She probably got his old job since she couldn't suck her boss's dick and work at the same location as him. Today I fucked up letting my wife know the meaning of a phrase I would whisper into her ear. Standard not today, but 4 years ago. So when my wife and I first started dating, 7 years now, she was fairly naive to the world. She grew up in a strict Southern Baptist environment and was never allowed to date, watch certain things, etc., etc. She moved out of her parents' house in 2013 at 21 years old. I met her 7 years ago on October 28th. We started talking and messaging each other things fairly quickly and getting frisky. Now I've never done this with anyone else, but because she was very innocent to various pop culture references I decided to give it a try. During one of our early makeout sessions, without knowing a lick of French aside from Dexter's Laboratory, yes my dear Ida we are going there, I proceeded to whisper the phrase omelette du fromage into her ear. This turned her on immensely. So for 3 solid years this went on until I FD up and told her what the phrase meant. Ever since then I've regretted telling her, and she never thought to look it up, because I always got a kick out of it. Omelette du fromage equals cheese omelette. Married for 6 years this past June, so I did something right. TL Doctor. For 3 solid years my girlfriend and then wife got weak in the knees to me whispering cheese omelette into her ear because she had no clue what omelette du fromage actually meant. Edit line, edit, forgot to add that she in fact hates cheese. Edit 2, thanks for all the laughs and first towards lol. My wife and I are both laughing because we've held off on posting this, but it's a hilarious story. Edit 3, I've only seen a few, 2 to 3, naysayers. I can fully assure you that this is in fact true. It's still hilarious to this day that I managed to go for so long and give her the feels by using a cheesy line. Did I mention we have 2 kids? Oh, dad joke included at no extra charge. Edit 4, I am aware it's not actually omelette du fromage. However, it's parodied from Dexter's Laboratory as I have stated above. I implore you to Google or YouTube omelette du fromage, and you will be enlightened. Edit 5, Elvis Harchercrafts is indeed my wife. Prior to today she has never been on Reddit. She did not create her profile to drum up business. We are both horrible at naming, so she just used her business page. I do own a business myself, but I believe it would go against toes to go into detail on that despite the fact that I'd love to drum up business. If it is against toes I'll delete because I've had a couple people ask. I do credit card processing and 100% eliminate fees for the merchant privately owned and large to keep them afloat, especially these days. Elvis Harcher and myself did not anticipate the huge interest of this story. It's been fun. Sadly I don't think I have many other funny stories that come to mind. I'm glad it brought a smile to quite a few of y'all. You're supposed to say that after you scramble her eggs, not before. So Dexter Laboratory was right. You can get anything with that phrase. Time to go conquer my country. Bro, how did she not understand omelette? Sheltered, naive at the time, so no she did not. I never spelled it for her either. I should have also noted that I spoke it in an extremely French accent. Maybe she knew and just really likes cheese. She legitimately did not know what it meant. Today I fucked up by swatting a stinging bug in my bed, barehanded. Going to bed yesterday, in the dark, something stung my foot as I slipped under the covers. As I sat up and reached for the light, it stung my other leg, then moved up to my thigh and stung again. Lights on now. I reached down and began swatting at it and attempting to swipe it away from me with my hand. Each time I tried to find the culprit, it would viciously sting my hand. I discovered that it was hard and at least a couple of inches long. I was thinking scorpion or one of those giant man-eating bees invading the northwest. 3 stings on the hand and I had located it. It was under the sheet. 2 more stings as I attempted to kill it while it was still trapped. Finally and reluctantly, I pulled back the sheet, ready to deal with whatever monstrosity escaped. It was a damned sewing needle, sticking halfway out of the mattress, and I'd been repeatedly stabbing myself with it. Too long didn't read, mistook a sewing needle in my mattress for a stinging insect. Repeatedly stabbed myself trying to swat it away with my hand. Once I was putting on a pair of shorts, when something kept sticking me in my behind. I thought it was a lost plastic price tag or a needle, stuck my hand down my shorts, and dragged out a freaking scorpion. This was only one time I got stung, as we were infested with them for a couple of summers. Thankfully I'm not allergic, and they weren't poisonous or venomous, whatever you call it, just hurt like hell. The scorpion let me out. Smooth, real smooth. Cha-cha real smooth. Looks like you finally got the point in the end. I once mistook a wasp for a pin in my bed. The error became agonizingly clear when I grabbed something with hairy legs. My sister came in after hearing me scream and killed it. I think it got me 3 or 4 times before I got out of bed. For years, I pulled down the covers to check carefully before getting into bed. Yo, wasp sneak attacks are the absolute worst. A wasp once crawled into a hoodie I had left in the backseat of my car. I threw it back on when I got home from work and got all the way to my bed for a nap before class when this fucker decided to string me 3 times in my right arm. I was just screaming with no idea what was going on for the longest 30-45ths of a second of my life. I ran downstairs and wriggled out of the hoodie for it to escape and promptly get killed by my mom. Lol. I never leave hoodies in my car during spring/summer anymore. I'm losing my mind. This is so fucking funny. Glad you're okay despite it all, Amal.